toughest challenges on the ground solutions. My name is Abidemi Ago and I'm excited to be back with you on my tunnel view. Championing and advocating the implementation of the development of tunneling and underground space used for cities in Africa meant that critical and strategic questions regarding the implementation of tunneling and underground space use would normally come my way. Experts and colleagues within the international community would often ask me, what is your priority sector of need for tunneling and underground space use in Africa? Now, the rate of urbanization in Africa is currently at 40% and is forecasted to increase to about 60% by the year 2050. What that means is that the population of countries in the continent will now reside in key critical cities. Now, this would pose quite a lot of challenge to the existing urban fabric of these cities. Cities like Lagos with a population of 22 million people, Cairo with a population of 20.5 million, Kinshasa with a population of 13.5 million people, Nairobi in Kenya with a population of 6.5 million people, and Johannesburg in South Africa with a population of 4.5 million people, to mention the least. Now desperately need to look at an alternative approach to be able to enable them accommodate the immense pressure on all the already stretched infrastructure of these cities. Resilience would always play a critical role in how our cities are shaped, especially focusing on emerging cities in Africa. And so it is worthy to note that some of these cities that are earlier mentioned were captured in the 100 Resilient program, which is initiated by the Rockefeller Foundation. And some of these cities have been stretched to their structural and environmental limits due to the stresses and shocks by the overwhelming activities on the existing fabrics on the urban spaces of these cities. Though these stresses and shocks are peculiar to this city in terms of the nature and to the degree, however, I believe there are commonalities. Issues of flooding, issues of air and land pollution are common within these cities, and well, there are various examples of how some of these common challenges have been resolved in other parts of the world. The smart tunnel, which means stormwater management and road tunnel, is a perfect example of how one tunneling and underground space scheme addresses multiple issues within a mega city. And so the issues we're talking about here was a combination of the flooding of the city and the problem of traffic congestion. And so the smart tunnel didn't just solve an environmental problem, it also met an economic need for the city. So, my views for today. The internal urbanization can significantly contribute to the socio-economic development of our cities if the rate of infrastructural development exceeds the rate of rural-urban migration, meaning we have to now act faster than we currently do. We need to move from a reactive phase of planning to a proactive phase of planning. Resolving the current resultant challenges of urbanization would be a two-pronged approach. One will be to address the drivers of rural-urban migration, and two will be the upscaling of infrastructural base of our cities by the way of integrating key critical infrastructures. The policy approach for the development of cities should now, as a matter of urgency, accommodate tunneling and underground space use as a critical part of infrastructural framework for our cities. Cities should be planned with a three-dimensional framework in mind, meaning concurrently capturing the value addition for the above ground and the below ground infrastructural development. These are my views today. I would like to hear your view on surface problems and underground solutions. But before I round up today, I would like to recommend a book. So this is Underground Space Unveiled, and it's planning and creating cities of the future. This book was written by an Admiral and Antonio Conaro, both of which are my mentors, and they are the co-chairs of the International Tunneling and Underground Space Association Committee on Underground Space. Yeah, it's a fantastic book. If you want to know anything about planning and extensive development of underground space use, this is a book to get. So that is it for me today on my tunnel view. Until next time, I would like you to subscribe, like, and share this post. See you next time.